Hello to everybody watching, listening, and welcome to a bit of a different game. I've been playing some 2v2s with Mr. Ninine here. Um, Against, in this case, Harambe, who is my opponent, and Binary, who is Ninine's opponent. And we're playing on a compact 2v2 map, so these towers are super close together because there is no flank in between the players. I kinda don't really like this setup because it's hard to go symmetrical. There's just so much more space here than there is here. My opponent is an aggro player apparently who likes to put sledgehammers and crawlers fairly offensive. On the other side we have some Phoenix and Arclight with Fang Chef in front. And my ally here is going for Marksman and Phoenixes. When I saw that in game, I immediately was thinking that can't really be it, can it? It makes sense against what the opponent has, but I don't think it makes sense as a unit composition that's supposed to last. I decided to go more heavy into this flank, and we'll see what happens. So from what I gather, very often on compact maps, the players decide to go for aggro in the middle and just rush both the other buildings. One for each player. Now my opponent has some crawlers here, but it does not really matter against these crawlers. There's way too many. They do, however, delay these crawlers for a good amount of time. And then they start beelining a bit towards some leftover units from my ally. But they will go after his tower before they go after my tower. Not that it matters at all. Now he gets my tower down, but there is nothing shooting at my unit, so it does not really end up being significant. My units get his tower debuff, so these crawlers, which belong to Harambe, will still be slowed and everything. And at the same time, my ally cleans up the rest of these units. I guess I can accelerate time here. No need to wait this one out. Actually, he doesn't take them out. Barely, the Fangs take out the marksman. It ends up being a slight win in round number 1. Now round number 2. We'll see what everybody picks. Unfortunately, you still can't see the options being presented, you just see the results. My opponent skips. I go for the nano repair kit, yeah. And high-range Vulcan, apparently. Now, since I am playing with heavy armor specialist, I think it's good to go for some heal for the moment, and this is basically just temporary. I'm putting it on some sledges, simply because, well, honestly, might as well do that. My ally is actually getting rapid resupply, putting a Vulcan out. It's a high-range Vulcan, so it does a lot of damage by comparison, and has a lot of range even without upgrades. My opponent is not just going for aggro, he's also going for a flank. And yeah, he's not going for a normal flank. He also is getting some wasps here. I guess a normal flank wouldn't really work, because the Phoenixes in aggregate will be enough with these crawlers to take the flank out. So he's going for the wasps here to overwhelm the Phoenixes pretty quickly. Now, I have no chaff here, so this is going to spawn and then immediately go on the offensive. He did mass recruit and instead put some crawlers, and additionally put some crawlers here. Now, since these units are here for the first round, they do end up spawning in, taking a long time. But all in all, this is not enough to hold it back. However, it does take a long while for this flank to actually go in. So my units do clean up the majority of my enemy's forces before inevitably my tower falls. And interestingly enough, some crawlers from my ally do get my opponent's tower. Basically at the same time that he gets my tower. So suddenly these healing tanks are actually doing a pretty good job healing up even under the marksman and sledge fire. It is, however, not enough. Even if it were... No, actually my ally here won. He does have some units left over to clean up. The marksman is a little bit distracted here. The phoenixes do fall, but they take out some tanks. 2 more marksmen left. And since they shoot at the same time, the marksmen trade evenly and the last tank survives. Better than the last marksman, that would have cost more HP. Okay, mystery time. Who picks what? We have fire badgers for Ninini. We have Mustangs for myself, because this flank dies to Mustangs very well. And getting carry Mustangs is kinda good, I think. So I get Mustangs with range, and my ally here is getting something against crawlers. However, a Scorpion on the side of, what was his name, of Binary, is going to melt, or I guess plasma, everything here. He did sell out of, oh no, he has the Phoenixes back here now. Okay. My opponent is putting the level 3 Rhino here, where it can push on both these towers, and he is investing further into this flank with a level on the Wasps and a Wraith. However, now there is some chaff here. I also put some Wasps here. I don't exactly know why I did that. I think maybe I was trying to feed the Wasps, but it's not really good with the Mustangs here. They don't really serve much of a purpose. I did also invest into an Arclight here, so that there wouldn't be just a lot of crawlers swarming through, but that can't possibly deal with this Rhino. So this gets taken out fairly easily and with only few losses to units that actually matter. However, the Rhino is on the charge. It does fortunately get distracted by some crawlers that my ally has. And all in all, this Rhino got distracted and didn't go for the towers at all. Now, I still have some pretty nice Mustangs here, and my opponent does not really have much. In the end, the sledges can deal with the leveled Mustangs. So, yeah, I'm pushing through. My ally is also pushing through. He won his side. So, yeah, nice round for us. Good amount of damage, but not in any way catastrophic. Not yet. Anyhow, binary skips. I get the advanced firepower control system, because putting that on these Mustangs should be super juicy. My opponent does instead go for the redeployment, and he puts the Wasps back here with the Rhino, I guess to help push the tower. He's now also getting a mobile beacon, so it doesn't get distracted anymore. I decide to drop another Arclight, and what else do I decide to do? Oh yeah, I got a Scorpion here with the heal. Even without any changes, the Scorpion already has almost 23,000 health, so it's going to heal a decent amount. My opponent is getting some sledges. Let's just take a look at the other side of the board as well. So we kind of have both Fire Badgers and Vulcan here for some, I guess, double good shaft clear. And an Overlord. And I guess a couple of Marksmen, and still Phoenixes and Marksmen together, which I really don't like much. Anyhow, the Wraith here is being stopped in the tracks by the Phoenixes and the level 9 damage equivalent Mustangs, which are almost inevitably going to level to technically having 12 Mustang levels worth of damage. However, there's absolutely nothing here to stop the flank. That said, there's also really not anything on my opponent's side here that is still doing anything right now. Well, I guess the ranged sledges are pretty terrible. To me, at least. Now, my ally here lost the fight badly under the tower debuff. I'm not sure how much of this is due to the tower debuff and how much of this is due to whatever else. I do end up having some forces left over, but not half an army. Not by a long shot. Additionally, these Phoenixes have range, though they will still be get taken out. I do end up taking out a Marksman, but even under a tower debuff, the Scorpion is too much for a handful of leftovers to take it out. I want to put a bit more overview on my allies side here. So, Stormcrawlers for my ally. I also went for Stormcrawlers. I played this couple of hours ago, I think, at this point. Binary is going for the hacker. And was that the melting point? I think that was the melting point for Harambe here. I guess to deal with the Scorpion, but honestly, he does not need it at this point. He does sell the Wraith. I think he sold it at least. Let's take a look at this. So, yeah, I'm guessing that the Scorpion just took out everything. And the Phoenix has cleaned up everything the Scorpion couldn't deal with. We have Photon Overlords here already, apparently going up against Fortresses. And I think it was 3 sets of Fire Badger, so one of them got sold, I would guess. I'm cheesing here. I noticed that there is absolutely nothing in front of this tower. I guess the Wraith was repositioned as well. He put it here, which makes sense. I also put an arc light at some stage in the game here. I'm getting more Scorpions. I honestly think that would not be a bad choice for my ally here, trying to match the Scorpion war. But what do I know?